Hey guys, Danny and Nick here. We're at Movement Art and we're here with the Fuel Hunt video series and going over guard retention. So check out all the other videos as well and let's jump right in. In this position, our opponent is starting to pass around. We weren't able to pummel. They started to get beyond the line of our hip. I'm framing and squaring up. And now they're going to have an opportunity here where they can start to misalign our spine. As I'm framing one way, he can pin my leg the other way, looking for a leg drag. In other words, doubling back to pin my hip with his leg, or in an earlier stage with his hand, just like this. In order to stop this, what I need to do is, as my opponent doubles back and goes below my hip line, I take this hand, I'm going to come back and I'm going to apply a self-frame. So while he tries to put weight through my leg to push it to the mat, I am framing underneath it so that with my bone structure, the leg does not go down to the mat. So he can put all the weight on it that he wants and the leg's not going to move. All right, now with this hand here, I'm framing whatever surface is closest. In this moment, it's going to be his leg, so I'm going to frame the same way that Nick taught us in a previous video. And then I can start to pull my knees to my chest as my opponent starts to run around. If he drops his shoulder, I switch and I frame that shoulder. Notice how I get my head down to the mat, and I'm going to be moving my head to get the head in line with my opponent's head once more. This is going to create an angle where now I can egg beat my leg over if the elbow is closed, and just like so, and under if the elbow is open. Now, if he's fighting harder on this side, I can always pull and now pummel this side as well. So now I'm free to start attacking my opponent once more. So it's super important. If we lose the first battle, he starts to go, we're framing and my opponent doubles back, pinning my hip. I immediately am going to self-frame on this side. And I'm not going to be keeping my elbow off the floor, something like this, and balling my spine up. I don't want to be all roly-poly here. So I want to make sure that I put my head onto the mat, I straighten my spine, and now I keep my elbow on the thigh right here to self-frame. This hand, again, I frame whatever surface is closest. It's the shoulder in this moment. I'm pulling my knees to my chest, and I'm going to walk my head in alignment with my opponent's head as he tries to pass very quickly to the other side. So I'm framing off of my opponent, pulling my knees to my chest, and I'm using my head. This allows me to move my legs back into alignment and recover my guard.
So one thing you can focus on too, when you're combining these two passes together, is just you're sensing for the weight on your hands. So what determines whether they're going to try to traverse your hip line versus doubling back? You can literally feel it with your frame. So as they circle outside the danger zone and they look to pass, if they keep the weight in your hands, you can do the first technique. If you feel that weight come off of your hands, you can guarantee that the person's attempting to double back, so you can already preemptively put yourself in the shape that Danny is in now to ensure that you're not going to get your hips pinned. So guys, that's how to defend the double ankle Toreando pass. Next video, we're going to be going over the hand on hip Toreando. So if you're interested in that, make sure to click on the next video.